And I'm live. I'm live. All right. Guys, going to be a short video today. I promised I was going to start making more videos. So here I go, making more videos. Um, I hadn't made too many in the last, few months just because market has not been all that exciting. Even though there's been a lot of news, there just has not been all that much excitement, anything worth me really coming on here about. So, today, I'm just going to go over the markets real quick for you. You've got the cryptocurrency market cap is currently at 246,600, and you've got the Dow Jones down again today, another 357 points, and it was down, I think, over 1,000 at one point today. I think the plunge protection team came in early and gave a little boost to the market, then it dropped down. In the afternoon, they tried to keep it. It went below 1,000, and they kept trying to keep it, above that $1,000 loss mark, which they managed to do. And then at the end of the day, I think they came in and bought some more. Don't really see the stock market doing too much. This weekend will be a very interesting weekend to see any new developments, revelations, discoveries, outbreaks, spreading of this coronavirus that's got everybody on edge and that's got the market spooked. Now, on top of the markets being spooked, we've talked about this many times before. We know that this market is being propped up by fake money. It's just to provide consumer confidence, to build consumer confidence is actually one of the most important things as far as keeping us out of a recession. And when consumer confidence goes, so does the economy. People start laying people off. Stock markets goes down. People stop buying things. Um, people stop doing, spending money on things they don't need to normally spend money on. People start hoarding a little bit more, and when that happens, that just means that there's less people selling things, meaning companies are making more money, meaning they need to lay people off to keep their profits in line, and they can't afford to pay people if there's nobody coming into the stores to to buy stuff. So it's a vicious cycle. So Trump has been trying to keep it propped up here as best he can, even though we know it is all kind of phony. I did have a comment yesterday about my video. It was only one negative comment about a gentleman who came on and said he was on board with everything I said until I started talking about the Democrats. Um, he said I was talking about the Democrats trying to, I don't know, force out Trump or something like that, and that's not at all what I was talking about. I was talking about the elites, the you can call them whatever you want, the New World Order, the Illuminati, the rich, the mega rich, the 1%. But they're the ones who control everything. They're more powerful than the president. They've always been more powerful than the president. They get what they want because they have the money. They've got everyone bought off that makes important decisions. Judges. They own all the popular, all the best real estate. They own all the major corporations. They're used to getting what they want. They own all the news, all the media, 90% of the media. So they put out whatever type of media they want you to hear. If it's always truthful, honest, or scare tactics, or whatever they want, they feed that out there to the mainstream media. That's why I prefer to get my news from other sources. So these are the people who don't want Trump in there because he's not letting them get their way. This wasn't an anti-Democrat thing, even though I do think that the Democrats are going a little off the deep edge here. Let's face it, even if you're a Democrat, there's a lot of Democrats leaving the Democrat Party because their number one, their leader right now is a socialist, Bernie Sanders, and we all know what happens to socialist countries, right? And if you don't, you need to study your history a little bit. All right. Anyway, let me talk about Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market. So we saw a big drop today in, like I said yesterday, we're going to see drops in everything. We're going to see the stock market go down. We're going to see gold and silver go down. We're going to see cryptos go down. We're just going to see a mass selling until a little bit of the dust clears, until people are able to get their funds off of their accounts, their stock trading accounts. It takes a few days when you sell your stock for it to settle, get your cash, be able to withdraw it. Some people are just going to keep it on there and wait for another opportunity. Um, but what's going to happen here is, you see, Bitcoin mainly is the one that people know that have no idea what cryptocurrencies do, what they stand for, who don't understand cryptocurrencies. They've heard the name Bitcoin before. That is going to be the natural one that they go into. I think maybe some people don't even understand when they see the price of Bitcoin, $8,600. They may think they have to invest $8,600 in it. And that might be a little too rich for some people to risk not knowing what it is until they understand that they can buy a portion of Bitcoin. They can buy a half of a Bitcoin, a quarter of a Bitcoin. They can buy Satoshis. Um, I think, the more educated people get on it, which they are getting on it because it's being talked about more regularly, almost on a daily basis now on your mainstream stock channels, the ones that have the little ticker going underneath showing all the stocks. They talk business all day. They talk about cryptos almost daily now, and Bitcoin mainly daily. And that's going to get people, the first time they hear about it, you know, they don't know what to think. It's going to take people a little bit of time to warm up, but the more they hear about it, the more they're going to get into it. And it's going to be just like, people are going to realize what can they invest in that's really going to make money. If you invest in an established company, like say Coca-Cola, is Coca-Cola stock really going to go up? What would drive up the price of a Coca-Cola stock? There's only a few things, right? Either they'd have to sell more Coca-Cola, or Coca-Cola would have to come out with a new product that a lot of people liked and started buying, or they'd have to open up in new markets. But basically, Coca-Cola is saturated all the markets. They're everywhere that they can be. They're in China, they're in Japan, they're in India, they're in America, they're in Spain, they're in Europe. They've already saturated the market, right? They've tried products. They've tried Coke Classic, regular Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero. They've probably had a bunch of other Cokes as well. They've tried basically every different thing they can try. They've tried marketing Coke versus Pepsi. They've tried classic Coke versus regular Coke. Um, you don't even really see that many Coca-Cola ads on TV anymore because, a lot of people don't watch regular TV. They watch their television on internet, YouTube, Netflix, and things like that. So you don't really see. I remember growing up, I used to see Coca-Cola ads all the time, but now it's just turning into a bit of a waste of money. They've already got their established customers. They've got the new generation that are looking at new drinks. Buy and vitamin water and different type of vitamin water drinks and things like that. Um, so they've got to expand and actually produce new products to stay strong in the market. So as far as coming up with new products, there's only so many new products they can come up with that they can make money on, and I think they're pretty saturated that way. As far as new territories, I mean they're everywhere already. They're pretty, saturated already. Um, as far as the only other thing they can do is charge more for their product, but with all the competition out there, that's not really a feasible thing to do either, right? So if you're going to invest, and that goes for a lot of different things. Starbucks coffee, I mean, Starbucks is everywhere. They're on every corner. The only way that they can make money is to pay their employees less, and I don't think they really make that much already. Or they can start charging more for their already overpriced coffee, which might scare customers away. Um, so really, where are you gonna how are you gonna make money in Starbucks or Coke or any of these companies that have been around for years? They have to be creative and come up with a brand new idea or break into a new market that can afford to buy their expensive, already overpriced products, right? Now, on the other side, look at something like Tesla, new technology, right? Electric cars, um, only just starting to come into America, which is the major car buying populace. That's why Tesla stock has gone from $400 to almost $1,000, even though it's come down now with the market crashing in about 2 weeks, because people that are smart know that that's a still a brand new product with possibilities to to go up high, 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 right? once they become popular in America, and America's a huge market alone, they're going to start making trucks to deliver goods without drivers, driverless vehicles, even though that doesn't seem to be working out too well right now. But maybe for trucks, more established routes will work out a little bit better. I don't know. For the everyday commuter who wants to go different places, maybe not so well right now, at least. But they're a new technology. They've got, it's like, when people first came to America and they settled in Massachusetts. But then they discovered there's a whole country, and people went west and they went to California because there was opportunity. People see Tesla as a thing with opportunity. They're going to see the same thing with Bitcoin. It's not stale, boring, old, oversaturated, been there, done that. All right. It's a new, even though it has been a thing for 10 years, it hasn't really started to get into the mainstream for the last maybe around that 2017 where it had that little, that had that run. It did get the attention of some people, but still, less than 5% of the people own Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. So that again, that is, people are going to see that as a potential to soar like Tesla stock soared. Now that the stock market is crashing and people are selling everything, you'll notice that the cryptocurrency market did go down, but it didn't go down like the stock market did. It didn't go down like gold and silver. I mean, look at gold and silver. I mean, they're supposed to be hedges against stock market crashes. You look at gold was down $55 today. That's a big drop for gold, but even bigger, the drop in silver, $1.06. Right now, the price of silver at 1668 is about the cost to mine an ounce of silver. So silver miners at this price point are not profitable. Um, Now, if that goes on for too long, you're going to find that either they're going to start closing mines or they're going to start slowing production to make it more scarce, to bring the price back up, because if it's not profitable for them, then their companies are going to lose money. And the way that the stock market's going, anything that comes out now with negative earnings, um, a potential for negative earnings, is going to go even lower. And this could potentially drive some silver companies that don't have a lot of strong financial backing out of business. And gold as well. Silver is a byproduct, I understand, of when they mine like copper and zinc and things like this. But now, if the economy starts to go down, the need for copper, zinc, things like these is also going to go down, because copper is used a lot in construction, home building, pipes, things like that. If the housing market goes down as well, you're going to see silver production slow down as well. So right now, it looks like even though cryptos have gone down, I think they've gotten hurt the least. If you take this last week and digest it all and you compare everything percentage wise, I don't know this for sure, but you would expect cryptos being so volatile to have really plunged, a lot more than they did. So, if anyone's anxious out there, wondering what they should do with their cryptocurrencies, I think with the small market that it has, that once people start dabbling into it, people that have not before, any new money that comes into the cryptocurrency market is going to give it massive moves, steady moves. And it's not going to be ignored once it starts to happen. Okay. Especially when the stock market continues to be shaky. Coronavirus is still out there, and people are still nervous about that, right? So you've got a lot of money on the sidelines now. You've got billions of dollars, came out of the stock market on the sidelines. That money is waiting to go somewhere. You've still got the banks um, printing billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars daily. That money needs to go somewhere. If things start to slow down, money doesn't like to sit for too long. And you may have heard on some of the channels, they talk about the velocity of money. And that's how much money is transacted between people and how fast it's circulating. And it's been super, super slow, unusually slow, especially considering all the money that's been printed. That just goes to prove that the wealthy The top 1% are the only ones benefiting. They're the ones getting the money, and they're keeping it for themselves and keeping it in their companies. It's not circulating down. It's not, that trickle down uh, economics that Reagan talked about back in the 80s. That has not been happening. It's simply, I don't know if the banks or the Fed have a deal worked out with these companies that you're strictly only to put this money that we give you at 0% interest rate back into your own companies, or what's going on here. But some of that money is going to find its way out, and it's going to find its way into cryptocurrencies. And if it's not just the one percenters' money who do own the 1%, three people, Bezos, um, Buffett, and Mr. Microsoft, they're, you know who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name right now. Bill Gates. Those three guys have more money than 50% of the people in America. They have 50% of the wealth, three people. Just shows you how the elite have it all separated so well, and with all the money that's printed out, that they're the only ones benefiting from it, right? So what I talked about today about the stock market, saturated, stale stocks, not much potential for them to go anywhere unless they pump more money in there. This is going to be talked about again. You're going to hear other people talk about this. There's quite a few times I've made videos and brought up things, and you don't hear about them for a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden you see them on the major news channels. I'm not saying that it's me, because I'm sure other people get these, have these ideas as well, but it seems more times than not, when I think outside of the box and start to bring up ideas and thoughts like this, that people do know because they are common sense, but just haven't acted on yet, that they do come out. I believe what I just talked about is going to be something that's talked about in the very near future. It usually takes a week or two, and you're going to see these stock companies start to talk about exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to take credit for anything, my past videos or anything, but mark my words, if it goes how it just seems to be going. And guys, I'll be honest with you, I think that a lot of the information that I get, don't think I'm crazy, is just relayed from up above, from God. I am a religious person. I believe in God, and I know that you may think I'm crazy, but I used to have very vivid dreams when I used to pray a lot, and I know it sounds weird, but it's almost undeniable. It's more than a dream. It's a message that I get sometimes. I'm not saying that this is a message, but I know you're all thinking I'm crazy, wacky right now. But I'm just gonna stop talking about it right now. But I just want to say, give all glory to God, guys. I'm gonna end it here on this video. Let me just look at the videos, the comments here real again. I'm at it again. Yes, God and TV. I am at it again, taking your advice about the food thing, bank thing. Yeah, I did go out and I bought a little extra toilet paper and little extra pasta and sauce and some detergents. Things that are mostly made in China are going to have trouble getting here because a lot of the factories are closing in China, and if they're not producing it, once they get out of the supply room at your local store, they're not going to be available. It's going to mainly be things like iPhones, semiconductors, but 50% of the world's supply is made by China, and that's why I think it's important for America to start producing more products. So if there is anything like this, we're not reliant on another country. What if we went to war with China? We'd be royally screwed because we don't even produce steel anymore. We couldn't even make bombs. Once we ran out of our bombs, we couldn't even make bombs to fight back with if it wasn't a nuclear war, if it was just like a regular fighting war. So, you know, this coronavirus, hopefully it doesn't get too bad, but it might be a blessing in disguise, like I said in the last video, as that Americans may wake up and realize that we're too dependent on other countries, mainly China, and that we need to start being little bit more nationalistic and keeping businesses here instead of sending them all overseas. And that'll just be more jobs, and that'll just make our country stronger. Guys, kiss your wife, kiss your girlfriend. Give me a thumbs up too. Why not? I don't get paid for these videos. The least you can do is click a thumbs up. How much effort does that take, right? Um, and hug your girlfriend, your boyfriend, pet your pets. God bless each and every one of you. Let's see, Randall McMurphy, who's on here all the time. Randall, I do appreciate you. Sup, Joe? I'm doing good, man. Hope y'all are well. Bitcoin will hit 30,000 before the Dow does. That's my bet. Hey, I like that. I like that, Randall. I think if Bitcoin catches a little bit of a breeze, a little wind in its sail, that it could be off to the races. I didn't think Bitcoin was going to be it this year, but if this stock market continues to crash like it does, um, Bitcoin is going to blast off, guys. Brother Litecoin Perosi, appreciate you coming on here again as usual. All right, so let me end this now. We're at 20 minutes, guys. Love you all. God bless each and every one of you. Joe Knows Crypto signing off. Have a good night. Bye now.